What's up, y'all? And welcome back to Danny to Talk. I'm your host, Robert, and today I'm going to be doing a kind of like a review slash impressions for the new, recently new Kevin Hart movie called Fatherhood that's on Netflix. Now, this movie came out a few weeks back, and I had some very close friends that, suggested that I check it out. Um, so I figured, like, hey, you know what, I will eventually. And so, today just happened to be the day. I just happened to be in the right mood and the right mindset to where I was like, you know what, let's dive in and see what this movie is about. Um, so just a little bit of backstory on me for anybody that's new to me, new to what I do. So I am a father of five, and so three boys, twin girls. And so I already knew kind of going in that this movie might speak to me in certain ways. And I think that's kind of one reason why I had waited a little bit before I dove in to watch it. And yeah, it definitely did. So I guess just to take a step back for anybody that has no clue what I'm talking about. So the movie Fatherhood is basically about Kevin Hart's character having to raise his daughter as a widowed father. So yeah, so early on in the movie, the his wife passes away not long after giving birth to the daughter, and then the rest of the movie is pretty much his journey, his struggles in trying to raise this kid as a single father. Now, I guess I'll say overall before I kind of go through specifics of the movie as well as like my personal, like my personal story and stuff like how that all kind of wraps up with it. So overall, I feel like I really enjoyed the movie. I will say it kind of gave me more confidence in Kevin Hart doing more serious roles because honestly, while I did hear, going in that the movie was good, still, we usually know Kevin Hart for his comedy and funny movies and stuff like that. So for him to take on this type of role, I felt like he did a great job and he really knocked it out of the park. Like I said, more so better than what I was expecting coming into it. Now, some of the supporting characters, I'll say the grandparents, both Kevin Hart's mother in the movie as well as his wife's parents, like the immediate family members were good in the movie. Some of like his close friends, like the Croatian dude's kind of weird, but I feel like, for the subject matter of this movie, there needed to be at least a little bit of levity with some of this. I don't know if I could have handled it just being straight seriousness, for an hour and how long was it? Like an hour 50 minutes. So I don't know if I could have taken just straight 100% seriousness for that long. So while some of his friends and stuff were a little bit goofy, I think that in the end it ended up helping to serve the movie for the greater good. And so yeah, so pretty much like I said, the movie starts off with, him and his wife having the child, and then shortly after, the wife has a situation to where basically she gets a blood clot. And I guess I'll say I'm obviously gonna be going into full spoilers for the movie. So I guess I'll say that up front. So just hey, surface level, it's a good movie. So yeah, like I was saying, yeah, overall this was a solid movie. Like I said, if you are in the mood for getting some feels, some potential tears, watch this movie. I will say, like I said, definitely if you're a parent, if you are a father like I am, just be prepared going in and knowing that like, hey, this might hit you in certain ways that you might not have been expecting. So going into actual detail and spoilers and stuff with the movie. So yeah, so the wife, after, not long after that, after she had the baby, ended up a blood clot or something. I can't remember what the technical term or the medical term that they used, but basically a blood clot got in her lungs and ended up killing her. And then obviously, everybody's destroyed. It's a crazy situation all around. And so almost immediately, everybody is just immediately doubting Kevin Hart's character. What's his name? Matthew. To where the both sets of parents, his wife's parents, his close friends, co-workers, his boss, everybody's like, hey, you can't do this, you need help, you should move back home to where you're closer with family, and just all this stuff. And it's like, while I do get like, yes, people, they had the best of intentions with what they were saying, but you telling somebody that just lost their spouse, they're like, hey, we don't believe in you. We don't think you got this covered. I feel like like there's nicer ways to try to say that and do it to help somebody than to just be like, hey, yo, we have no faith in you, bro. This ain't gonna work out. So yeah, so that obviously is very tough on him. His wife and mother-in-law them stay there for a little bit to help out with the baby. Shortly after the funeral and stuff, and then eventually he convinced them to leave and let him be because it's like, hey, I'll never know if I can do this if nobody gives me the chance and the opportunity to do so. So yeah, so then it kind of time skips a bit not long after that, or I guess I'll say they did like a montage of him, having all these moments of trying to put her to sleep and going to the store with the baby and accidentally leaving the baby behind and all this other just crazy stuff. And and as a dad myself, I definitely related to all those moments because it is very crazy, very hectic, and I have my wife helping me out, so I can't even imagine, being a single parent in that situation. Now granted, I did grow up in a single parent household myself, so I have some perspective in that from the sense of like from a child growing up in that household, but I don't have obviously the perspective of doing it as a parent by myself. But yeah, so so like I said, they skip ahead some years, and I think she's maybe 5 or so. It's kind of hard to tell, sometimes with like child actors, like how old they're supposed to be portraying in the movie. But it seemed like she was going to school for the first time, so I'm guessing she was like 5 or so. And so yeah, then it was just kind of like this thing over the course of the movie of like, him and her trying to do these different things together, but it was always mainly just him and her and everything that was going on. And so yeah, so eventually, things move along and she's going to school, then he tries to start dating and doing all this different stuff. And it was just kind of wild because obviously like he's been out of the dating scene, out of that stuff for so many years, and of course like he has his mind just set on being the best father for his daughter, to where obviously it's understandable that he is very hesitant at various points in you know getting serious with somebody, and especially when the person that his friends try to hook him up with has the same name as his wife that died. That's I know it's probably of course it's pure coincidence, but man, that had to sting a bit. It's like okay, you're trying to get to a place years later where maybe you can try to start moving forward, but yet this new person you're meeting has the same name as this person that you have a child with. So yeah, so that part was definitely very hard on him. I felt his pain, just because it's even weird just dating multiple people with the same name. That alone is crazy enough within itself. But anywho, it's gonna skip ahead, so I don't want to do like a play by play recap for the whole movie because obviously you've probably seen it. Hopefully, if you're here. But anywho, going ahead a bit to where he's dealing with the struggles of his daughter, having to try to go by the dress code of this school that she's in. She's getting teased for it, and then she eventually gets hurt. And then that moment where he is not there to answer the phone, he had like 19 missed calls from the school, and that just gave him flashbacks to when his wife died. Because like, yo, okay, I let myself get caught up, I let myself get distracted, and I let my guard down for once, and look what happens. My daughter gets hurt, and then of course, he turns on the lady that he was dating. They, have a little argument or whatever. She ends up leaving, and all this crazy stuff. And then, the daughter's mad because she's like, "Hey, what happened to the lady?" And it's a whole big thing. And then, like at the end of the movie, like that part where he goes to take his daughter to stay with his in-laws for a bit while he maybe has to go do some work stuff or whatever, and him having that realization slash contemplation of like, maybe it is best if I leave my daughter here with these with the her family or whatever. I know that is very tough. Yeah, it's just a very tough situation to be in all around, you know. And yeah, sometimes realizing that it's like, man, sometimes you have to make tough moves, tough calls. And so for a moment, he makes the call to leave his daughter there, let her stay with her grandparents and stuff while he goes off and work, and his job's getting ready to send him traveling across the world and all this stuff, giving him this promotion, all this stuff. But he does have that moment where when he's at the airport at the end, and he sees the girl on the young adult lady on the phone with her dad because she's going off to college, and then he sees the mother and daughter there, or the mother and the baby there, and he's having all these flashbacks and stuff, and then he comes to the realization of like, no matter what, we need to stick together. And so I love that he goes back and he ends up getting her. And so, yeah, I just really like that. Like, hey, we are a team. We're gonna stick together. And so, coming at this from my perspective, like for me as a dad, like that is a fear. I'll be honest, that is a fear I have had many times over the years of like, man, like if something were to happen to my wife, like what would I do? How would I be able to deal with the situation, because like I said, I got 5 kids. So, you know, just seeing what Kevin was going through with the one, it's like, man, me potentially trying to do this by myself with 5 kids, would just be just super wild and bonkers. And I feel like my situation would be even more complicated because my 4 older kids are my stepkids. So then that's, extra people, extra people in the mix, variables and stuff, whatever, that I don't even want to begin to try to, think of how that crap would all go together. But yeah, that's this movie, like I said, like made me think about stuff, you know, both like, okay, hey, sometimes you do need to, think about and be prepared for certain life situations or whatever. But at the same time, like, man, potentially having to face that reality of like, hey, my spouse, my partner is no longer here. We need to carry on. I have these kids. We need to be able to try to move on and stick together. And so, yeah, overall, like I said, the movie had a really what was really good. Like I said, I feel like I sound like a broken record, but it is what it is. It's a really good and solid movie. But yeah, I don't know if I would be able to do it. Especially by myself. I definitely would need some family, a support system of some type, friends, to try to get through it with my kids and my situation and stuff. So just because, and luckily, for me, at least like at current point in my life in 2021, some of my kids are getting close to that preteen teen phase. So, it wouldn't be Obviously, it would still be tough, but I don't think it would be as tough as like doing it with a newborn baby. You know, that situation is tough regardless of age and stuff, but I feel like doing it with a newborn baby is a whole other beast, you know. But I also feel like, it's both sides of the coin of like okay, a newborn baby that never knew the other parent versus older kids that have known the parent and are feeling that loss. It's yeah, it's a very tough it's a very tough situation, because just a little bit of background on me, even more along with, like I said, with my wife and kids and stuff, whatever. You know, I've also been going through some other kind of like recent grief and stuff as well. I lost my older sister as well as my mother within this last year, and so from the perspective of like losing a parent, you know, me at 31 years old, it has been tough, and it's been about 6 months since I lost her, and then about 9 since my sister. Um, and so I definitely know that like my nieces and nephews are dealing with this type of situation. My brother-in-law is going through this type of situation, or whatever. With my sister not being here, and him having to carry the torch with my nieces and nephews going forward. So, like I said, while I haven't directly had to deal with the situation, I've had to tangentially, you know, I have tangential relations to this scenario that Kevin Hart was going through in this movie. And so, like I said, I think that's why this movie just really hit me on so many levels. Like I said, as a parent, as a son, as a brother, so on and so forth, with this scenario. But yeah, overall, like I said, if you listen to me ramble this long for these almost 20 minutes and you hadn't seen the movie and anything I sounded interesting sounded, got your interest, go check out the movie. And if you have already seen it, hey, let me know what you think. Leave a message down in the comments, send me a message, wherever the case may be, and just, let me know what you thought of the movie. But yeah. And before I go, last little bit too, whatever, I definitely want to give a shout out to the young actor who played the daughter, who played Maddie. Her name is Melody Hurd. Shout out to you, Melody. You did a awesome job playing the daughter in the movie. Like I said, she really helped, just bring it all home, the whole vibe and attitude and stuff. So yeah, and I'm pretty sure there's some points that I didn't bring up of the movie, but like I said, I just want to give a little bit of my thoughts on the movie in relation to my personal life story and background and things of that nature. So hopefully, you like this and found it entertaining. Scratch that, entertaining is the wrong word, but hopefully you got something out of this. And hey, even just, like I said, just another perspective just gives you something to think about. So, I'll definitely, before I leave, just say, encourage everybody out there to, love your family, love your loved ones, your husband, wife, spouse, partner, you know, love your parents, love your kids, love your family, friends, cherish them all while you can, because, you never know. Tomorrow is not always promised. And like I said, I, still, dealing with the loss of my lovely mother and sister, who I have framed up there. This is a caricature of my mother, and then this very beautiful picture of, like I said, both my mother and then my sister right here as well. So, they're kind of sitting in on this movie review with me, watching over me. But yeah, I hope everybody out there has a great week, and like I said, yeah, if you like this, like the video, hit that subscribe button, leave a comment. Like I said, let me know what you thought of the movie. Let me know what you thought of what I had to say. And yeah, you know, keep checking around for a Dad Needs to Talk. Like I said, I am a podcast host. So I have a podcast that goes along with this channel. So hey, go check it out because I do everything from movie reviews to talking about family and fatherhood to nerd stuff like manga, anime, video games, and all the other stuff as well. So if you like any of that stuff, check me out. Follow this channel. Follow my podcast, which is available on all streaming services. And yeah, I'll be back soon for another video. So hope you all have a great night, great week, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Peace.